Okay, I think it's okay if we say it. After 7 episodes of Bleach, Nostalgia, Blood War, I think it's okay to finally put the word out that this has not missed one time with any episode thus far. Bleach, Nostalgia, Blood War has just been non-stop, straight up and down, knuckles to the face, sword to the gut. Absolute crazy insanity, and this episode in particular threw out the plot twist. Now, for me personally, as a manga reader, I wasn't like blown away like whoa, because I obviously experienced this many years ago, but the twists and turns of this episode of Bleach Nostalgia Blood War between Ichigo going up against Yhwach, everything that is happening right now, it is absolutely insane. And of course, yet again, the demise, the death of the great Captain Commander Yamamoto. Man, oh man, I will tell you right now, hands down, the anime did a way better job of evoking emotion from me with his passing, because I remember in the manga, it was shocking, it was like, holy cow, but in terms of, from an emotional aspect, I wasn't really broken up too much per se about the Captain Commander, because he was always kind of, just like the Captain Commander. We never got true emotional scenes or whatnot, but the way the anime, even like last episode when we got the flashback between Yamamoto and Sasakibe, a lot of those little episodes, a lot of those little moments really helped to make me even more so feel emotional towards the Captain Commander and his passing. Like this episode, especially the way they did everything from top to bottom, it actually hit. And then of course you had the Byakuya stuff, because the way the episode opens up, which I can't remember if this was in the manga, I almost feel like it wasn't, or it was very quick, so to speak. We get to see the original Gotei 13 back in the days going up against Bach and the Stern Ritter before, the 1,000-year blood war, so to speak, the initial war. And man, oh man, stuff like that legitimately, between the fact that Kubo already kind of teased all of their designs with that big poster that he released last week, but then just seeing it here animated and stuff like that, part of me wishes, dog, I would totally be down for a Bleach prequel that leads into even the 1,000-year blood war, the original 1,000-year blood war. I would totally be fine with that, getting introduced to all these new captains and stuff like that. I'd be okay, don't get me wrong, the cast of Bleach is awesome and stuff like that, but the lore and everything from the past, especially considering even Bach himself had to refer to those 13 court squad guards as they're not guards or anything like that, dog. They're absolute savage killers. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the insanity of that in a full-on series. But either way, the episode opening off with that, showing the very first defeat of Bach and how it was done. And shout outs to Sasakibe, because I don't remember in the manga that scene, but maybe it did happen, of Sasakibe being the one to stab Bach, giving the opening for Yamamoto to finish him off in the past. And again, it just shows that this has been very brutal. You know what I mean? That's why these past 7 episodes are arguably some of the most action-packed, despair-filled episodes of Bleach, because even with this episode, you look at it from what it is, it's a major loss for the Serete. This is arguably the biggest loss that the Serete, the Soul Society as a whole, has taken in its history, because again, even back in the day, that 1,000-year blood war, they won. This time, there's no wins. In fact, the Captain Commander, when they actually show his body sliding off, it was just like, oh my god, nightmare fuel, just because it's like, dog, what? 370 something episodes later, seeing this, it's madness. And with Ichigo finally breaking out of Quilge's little jail, so to speak, I was like, here we go, baby, here we go. Let's talk about following that event of, again, seeing Captain Commander Yamamoto dying and Byakuya's speech to Ichigo. That right there hit me, I don't even want to say harder than everything else, because this episode was just all the way around on 10, but that moment in general, to see somebody that has been presented through and through for 370 plus episodes of, I'm a prideful guy, dog, like, I play by the books. That was the reason why when the whole, rescue Rukia thing was happening, he was dead set on, yo, Rukia gotta go, even though at the last minute he probably would have done something just because of the whole connection, whatever. But nevertheless, Byakuya being a by-the-book, prideful kind of guy, to see him have to admit, yo, dog, I know I shouldn't even be asking you this. Ichigo, I know you don't belong here. I know you're a human. This is a soul society. This is our fight. Who am I? But I gotta ask, please protect the soul society. Oh my god, just saying it and envisioning it in my head right now, that whole scene was amazing. Again, this right here, I'm gonna throw it out here. I'm gonna say it. I have to say it. Better than the manga. And it's tough because the first part of the Bleach Thousand Blood War alone is amazing. The manga just did it so well. This is why fans have been screaming for so many years, please animate this final arc. And somehow, some way, Studio Pierrot came and delivered something even better than the manga. Because fam, oh fam, the action between Ichigo and Bach throwing down, definitely a light show. I was like, holy cow, anybody that suffers from seizures, be careful because it's flashing like a mofo. But also the big reveals, because as they're clashing, Ichigo breaks out of Quilge's sphere, whatnot, Bach and him are going at it, and Bach is having the upper hand. Bach is clearly giving Ichigo more than just a run for his money. He's stomping thy butthole, so to speak. Okay, pause. Well, but Ichigo is basically on the ropes, and we get the revelation that he starts using a BLUT vein, which basically that is seemingly a technique that is exclusive to Quincy. We seen, in fact, last episode, it kept on activating as Yamamoto was going up against Bach. We saw Bach's BLUT vein was the only thing that was keeping him from disintegrating in front of Captain Yamamoto's Bankai. So to see Ichigo now using that, part of me at first was like, wait a minute, because I couldn't remember this. It's been many years. How the hell did he randomly get BLUT vein now? And he never got it, you know, fighting some of the most strongest atrocities of the world, Aizen and such. But once Bach explained that basically being in Quilge's jail, he absorbed some of, I guess you would say, the Reiatsu, so to speak, that was inside of that also had basically Quilge's Quincy Reiatsu, and that awoke something in Ichigo. And yeah, what did it awake, fam? What are we doing here? This is that part where everybody starts screaming like they did with the manga. Oh my god, Ichigo is like 5 million different things. He's a Fullbring, he's a Quincy, he's a Stern Ritter, he's a Fullbring, he's a Shinigami, he's a human, now he's a Quincy. What is all of this madness? And yeah, Ichigo is seemingly one hell of a hybrid, and it goes into the whole history, and I love it. That, yeah, jumping into Bleach, if you're trying to just jump into the Thousand Blood War and you think you're gonna skip 366 episodes, you are out of your mind. Maybe you could argue you could get away with skipping about 200 something that are straight canon, but you cannot skip out on everything, because this episode alone connects into Ichigo's mother, something from early on in the series. We found out, of course, that Ichigo's mother was killed. Ichigo's mother's dead. So the fact that it's starting to rummage into the ideas of Ichigo's mom having some sort of connections to Bach, very big deal. Also noted that, wait a minute, why did Bach want to take Ichigo with him so badly? Like, why didn't he just want to kill him right there? Because he has the opportunity, but he clearly says, no, we're going to take him back with us, and I'm going to re-educate him. I'm going to make him a loyal servant of mine. So why you want to go through all that trouble? We get it, Ichigo's strong as hell, but he kind of also wanted to do the same thing with Aizen, now that I think about it, but maybe in a little different approach, because Aizen, hey, if he's down for the dastardly, he's down for it. And speaking of Aizen, the man did it again. I referenced it in my last review, but in case you missed it, something that I wanted to see, a line that I was desperate to witness, was Bach saying, holy shit, while I was standing there with Aizen, he did something. He made a move already. He messed with my perception of time, because apparently there's some reason why Bach has to immediately retreat back to the Vonden Rake, so to speak, and it makes you question, okay, is there like some sort of timer on him that if he leaves, he'll die or something like that? Makes you question a little bit why he was so concerned to go back, but again, that has to be stressed that Aizen messed with his mind, all while being tied up and imprisoned. Imagine what Aizen could do if he was free, dog. Just imagine. And yeah, this episode, honestly, the art, the animation, very dark. Oh, and something I absolutely have to stress. I told myself I'm gonna tell you guys. I have to point it out. I have to give it praise. The OST, from the moment that Bach starts trying to grab up Ichigo and he's like slamming those boulders into him, the OST was just god tier, reusing one of the classic Bleach OSTs, and I think it was remixed if I'm not mistaken, unless that was an extended version. It just sounded so fantastic, adding to the mood and the despair of Ichigo was just asked by Byakuya, please protect the Soul Society. He goes to try, he can't protect the Soul Society, so much so that not only he gets whooped by Bach, also gets his sword broken by Hoshwold. And speaking of broken swords, yo, we can't negate the fact that Byakuya's sword shattered. What does that mean for Byakuya? You know, if a Shinigami Zanpakuto shatters, they're supposed to be dead. So we might have gotten 2 deaths in one episode. I'll leave that up to anime onlys to figure that one out. But honestly, incredible episode. 11 out of 10 episode. Again, this is one of those episodes and 7 episodes deep that makes me want to say that Bleach is probably the most hype and epic anime of the fall 2022 season of anime. It's just so freaking good. Every episode I'm coming here to tell you guys, oh, yet again, Bleach done did it. Bleach is on that peak, and this episode was just that. Although it definitely is going to make a lot of fans wonder Bach's last lines to Ichigo as he's leaving: my son born in darkness. Now we already know Ichigo's father is Ishin, and we of course seen his mother at the beginning of Bleach as well. Why would he refer to Ichigo as his son? You know what I'm saying? It makes you question, like, what was Ichigo's mom's connection to Bach all along? If, you know what I'm saying, like, could she have some Quincy ties, so to speak? And also another aspect is, what is this all going to mean with Ichigo's relationship and just in general the future of Bleach when it comes to Uryu? How is Uryu gonna take in, wait a minute, Ichigo has some sort of connections to the Quincy? What's going on here? And you could throw the argument, maybe some people might feel like, damn, all this way in and now we're finding out Ichigo's a Quincy. It would have been very interesting if that would have popped up sooner, but hey, it's the 1,000-year Blood War, and that excuse of Kurge's jail and the Reiatsu being absorbed in, waking things up with Ichigo, you can let it slide. It's not the most perfect, but hey, I'll take it because it's a crazy twist. And at the end of the day, we still don't have all the info on Ichigo's mom, but it's safe to say that this episode of Bleach absolutely slapped times 10, from Captain Commander's past fight against Bach, the Captain Commander passing Byakuya's speech to Ichigo, begging for him, seemingly passing away with the Zanpakuto shattering, Ichigo versus Bach, Bach being tricked by Aizen with the perception of time, the mysteries of what Ichigo actually is. I just mentioned how many different things. Amazing episode. Let me know again your overall thoughts and expectations for Bleach's 1,000-year Blood War, episode 8 and beyond. I gotta stress, this might be the most epic and maybe even the best anime of the fall 2022 season. It's nothing bad to say at all in any means of any episode. It's pretty much peak. So laugh for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Yeah!